Hello and welcome to this episode deep dive where we're not going to go over anything in the Bible, but things about the Bible, and particularly where a lot of the burial places are thought to be for the people of the Bible. First, we have the tomb of the patriarchs is located down here. There's the Beth Hashon Visitor Center and Museum. There's a hospital, middle school park. It's in Hebron. There's the Dead Sea over there. Recording equipment. It must pop up. There's Jerusalem up there. Zion. Anyway. So the Tomb of the Patriarchs is known to be the burial place of several biblical figures. At least in Judaism. At least in Judaism. There are some other, and here's more of a picture, other theories. Now, Wikipedia, I'm not using it as a source, like this proves it or anything. No. What I'm saying is this just provides a list of where some people believe they are buried. Anyway, Judaism, of course, the Cave of the Patriarchs, which is that place I just showed you. Christianity has another idea, is the Chapel of Adam in the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. And this comes the whole idea that Jesus was crucified where Adam was buried, and that's why it was called the Tomb of the Skull, or the Hill of the Skull. Not much evidence on that. And Islam has the Sanctuary of Aman Ali in Nefecha, I'm pronouncing these names wrong, sorry, Iraq, which is this building right here. Now, with Adam, I would say we really don't know where he would be buried. Considering, well, all those years ago, some of the first human beings, yeah. Anyway, Eve, similarly, Tomb of the Patriarchs, or the Tomb of Eve in Jeddah, Saudi Arabia. Abel, particularly this mosque, Nabahelbi Mosque in Al-Zaban, Syria. So they think he's buried in this mosque in Syria. Again, we wouldn't know. Did I have a rainbow job? Okay, whatever. So that's Judaism, Tebes, in Israel, or Islam. They have two options. Besistat in Palestine. Palestine is a geographic region in Western Asia. Okay, there you go. Nabasarith in Lebanon. Then we have Lemech, only in Methrim, Afghanistan, seen here. Oh. This is a YouTube. Oh, this is a freaking YouTube video. There it is. There's the tomb. Thank you, Wikipedia, for YouTube. The Afghan Daily. Okay, sure. Again, we probably don't know where they're actually buried because they're so ancient, we just won't know. And no, that doesn't prove they don't exist. We don't know where Genghis Khan is buried either, or Cleopatra. Well, at the point of recording this, we might know in the future. At least Cleopatra, there's like some stories that we may have found her tomb. Anyway, Noah. There's several sites. There's the tomb of Noah. This thing in Azerbaijan, which would make the most sense if we did know it because it's close to Mount Ararat or the region of Ararat. And yeah, the Ottoman Republic, just in case you didn't know, is this little area right here. So it's kind of round area. I mean, maybe a few miles off. It's close enough, or the regions of area, which is another possible translation of what that means. Anyway. Then there's the, this mosque, again, for Shia Islam, again, in Iraq. Someone just added Turkey here, or Jordan. That's not Pacific. Turkey is another, it could be possible. Turkey. Shazran, Turkey. Which should be located down here in this part of Turkey. Turkey, yes. Which could be the possibility. Then we have Mount Devernon in Iran. Why this volcano? I'm not entirely sure, but maybe read sources, the Encyclopedia Britannica. Sure. In this village, Karzan, in Lebanon, then there's more stuff about the tomb of Noah. Then Abraham, Sarah, Isaac, Rebecca, Jacob, Esau, and Leah, tomb of the patriarchs. Ishmael and Hagar, you know that thing? Yeah, in Mecca. Shalom. Of course, that's just Islam. There's no stuff. If you're wondering where, yes, there's the actual thing, the configuration of the temple of Kaaba, blah, blah, blah. There's an actual source that people do actually believe. Lot. Barum here, near kilometers from east of Hebron. Okay. Rachel's tomb outside Bethlehem. All right. Then we got Zephalah, Bela, Jebod, Zephyrah, and Esau. The tomb of the matriarchs is in Tarbes, Israel. So there's the handmaid of Rachel, the handmaid of Leah, the mother of Moses, and the wife of Moses. It's all buried in this tomb. Reuben, Al-Nabram Reuben, or Robin, is a village west of Rela, just north of Evan, south of Jaffa, in Palestine, Israel. Then we got Judah, which is said to be buried in Udud. Here's Judah's tomb, or what they built over Judah's tomb, I guess, later on. As you can tell by the gate and stuff. See, there's lions, because the whole Lion of Judah thing. Simon, or Simeon, or whatever, in Kaza, Israel. Here, there's a bush growing out of it. It's a tomb. Obviously, it's a tomb. Asher and Nephitel, apparently they're buried together in Kadesh, which, no, you can't really see because the link is broken. Gad, in Never Megadia, in Roosevelt, Israel, or Al-Jadon in Al-Salt, the Salt, Jordan, Dan in Bet Shemesh, Qatar, which was a large nomadic and ancient Arab tribal confederation. The most organized of the North Arab tribes that peaked in its power in the 6th century BCE, so obviously the ancestor. And Zedjon, Iran, Zebulun in the tomb of Zebulun in Sidon in Lebanon. So it's not all Israel. In the past, towards the end of the Ayr, Jews from the most distant parts of Israel and the Jews who lived in Lebanon would make a pilgrimage to this tomb. And that's from pilgrimage Palestine. Anyway, Joseph, Ephraim, and Manasseh. Well, he's the father and they're the two kids, so yeah. Judaism, the tomb of Joseph. Islam, the cave of the patriarchs. Interesting. So in Judaism, they don't think Joseph is buried in the cave of the patriarchs. Well, I guess the other brothers aren't, so why would he? But is Islam, they think he is. Islam has a lot of other problems. But will we know 100% for sure? Maybe not. In Nabas, lost Israel. Benjamin, Kapha, Sheba, which is one of these two structures. You know, the fact that we have all this stuff, like, with this same amount of agreement, should tell you something. That there's not much variation over all these years and stuff. Then Sarai near Serena, Dar of Asher, in Parabaka, in Epherston, Iran, Moses, Mount Nebu, but Islam says it's in the West Bank, Neba Massa, even though the Bible says Moses never entered Israel. Yes, according to the Bible, the exact place of Moses' grave remains is unknown in order to impugn idolatry. Aaron, that guy, in the tomb of Aaron in Mount Heor, and near Petra, Eliezer and Itahemar, Atwa, the West Bank, Theraso, there, or just known as the tomb of Treso, Hidan, in Israel, Alabab, there, destroyed after the Israeli occupation of South Lebanon. Oh, southern Lebanon, Shajoy. Then we have some, like, Nun, the father Joshua. So, Sarah, tribute to their Suffolk government bank. There's his tomb. It's kind of boring. Joshua, Thomas Hare, tribute to blah blah blah. Same thing. Pictured that. Islam, An-Shabai, Yash ben Nun, a.k.a. the Prophet of Jacob Stein, near Al-Shaq in Jordan. Caleb. It's the same thing. Back there, okay. Obethel, Hebron, West Bank. Shemgar. Tibin, Lebanon. Another thing with the tombs is, remember, these people were buried a long time ago. Israel's been invaded, things have been destroyed, rebuilt over the years. Actually, even in in Jericho, there's been records of people, like, destroying the bottom foundation and just rebuilding an entire new one, like, destroying the records of the city below, of the old city, and just rebuilding stuff. So, yeah, it's kind of we do know. And we got Deborah, Baka, and Yel, which are saying Tel Kedesh, Samson, Beth Shemesh. We do have a picture. There's the picture. Ekala, Upper Galilee, Hera and Samuel, Tomb of Samuel, West Bank. There's the source. It's in Hebrew. Other sources claim that Tomb of Samuel is located 30 kilometers outside Sheva, Iran. Why would it be there? Eli, anyway, Solo and Samaria. There is. They even have a little, guess what he looked like. Nathan and Gad, Halua. Government, West Bank, David's Tomb, Mount Zion. Yes, there be. Yes. First Kings 2:10 says that King David was buried in his own city, the city of David, on the southeastern hill of Jerusalem. Mount Zion is its western hill. Southeastern. Interesting. The tomb of a Crusader era, blah blah blah. A Crusade era Caphrathera, symbolic empty sarcophagus. The building dates to the 2nd century. Earliest tradition of David being buried here was created by Byzantine Christians over a millennium after his death. And that's all from Holy Land, Oxford, early times, blah blah blah. The aesthetic tomb of David is probably a cave, noted as T1. In a former Roman-era quarry outside the modern city walls. So, there's some books for you. We have Harris Shark's Bibliological Review, January, February 1995, page 46, and Kathleen Kenya, Archaeologically of the Holy Land, 1985, page 333. Wow, that's a lot of pages. Absalom, Mount of Olives, Jerusalem. This. You know what's even worse about this? Archaeologists have dated the tomb to the 1st century. Association with Absalom only dates to the 12th. And yeah, gosh, we're saying. Currently, it's not considered by any religious group to be the tomb of Absalom due to its age of being 1,000 years too recent. And the Bible, 2 Samuel, chapter 18, verse 17, which says Absalom's body was covered over with stones in a pit in the forest of Ephraim. But apparently, someone at some point thought this was Absalom tomb, so they just have it here. Anyway, Hebron near Hebron, the West Bank. Here's what it looks like. So it was, this rabbi visited the tomb in 1522. And this guy, Book of Genealogy of the Righteous, a collection of writing first published mention in 1561, mentions the tomb. Yes. Anyway, Isaiah, Mausoleum of Isaiah, Asa in Iran. So, I guess there, read that book if you want to figure out why they think it's in Iran. Nordestream in Israel, so it's one of these two places. Hesherai and the Mount of Olives. Then we have Zedekiah, the cave of Zedekiah, which is that. Ezekiel, the tomb of Ezekiel in Iraq. He was in Iraq a lot. Ben Nurim, in Iraq. Again, this town, Iraq. Hosea, ancient Jewish cemetery of Safed, Israel. Here, archived on the original. So, anyway, Anataya, Bethlehem in the West Bank. Here, Jordan, Jonah, Mesopod, an Arab town located 3.1 or 5 kilometers northeast of Nazareth. And then we have Hanol and Hebron, Maakai. We have this place in Israel, or this place in Lebanon. Naram, Qadish, Al-Qadish, South Dhaka, Iraq. However, there's 2 other sites, historical accounts. The West Bank, here's source on that. Habakkuk, some locate it at Habakkuk and Habakkuk. Others, Karim in Israel. Here's the... Yeah. Others at Turkestan in Iran. This place. And yes, we do have other stuff proving that these people do exist. There's no reason to believe they don't. Zephaniah. And Salvi in southern Lebanon. Or Haggai, Malachi, and Zechariah, prophet, tomb of the prophets, Mount of Olives in Jerusalem. All these are... Yeah, the tomb of the prophets. So it's like, as you can see, is a tomb there. Job. Mostly Druze, which is like a Muslim form of Mormonism. This region in Lebanon, here, pictured. Jess and Ruth, the tomb of Jesse and Ruth, as you can see, in Hebron. Hebron shows up a lot here. Mordecai and Esther, the tomb of Mordecai and Esther, in Hemdaram, Iran, Entamon, which makes sense considering they would have been in Iran. Yes, Persian Jews still make an annual pilgrimage to this site. Daniel, the tomb of Daniel, and Susa, where he was, pictured in Iran, right here, which would make sense, but others say in this place in Iraq, Ruk, in Iraq, or Samarkand in Uzbekistan, which Persia would have had control over anyway. Yeah, would have control. Azariah's tomb near Bursa, Iraq. Tomb of Zechariah bin Joda, the last martyr of the Old Testament. Tomb of Zechariah, Mount of Olives in Jerusalem. There it is. Okay, then we have New Testament figures. So, the Mausoleum of Augustus, where a lot of Roman emperors are buried. There's a tomb of Caiaphas. Here's some stuff about that. Tomb of Herod the Great was discovered by by this guy. Cathedral of St. Andrew, which is located in Greece. Bartholomew in southern Italy. But this place also claims him, Bartholomew. During medieval times, there were a lot of taking the bodies of the disciples and claiming you had bones because it was a holy relic and had all these powers and stuff. So, yeah. Then there's display Sangalo de Caspilla Archaeological Basilica, part of the Mass Complex in Spain. Cathedral of St. James in Jerusalem, or James the Lesser. There's James the Greater, the son of Zebedee, and then there's James the Lesser, that was the brother of Jesus. Yes, Catholics, Jesus has a brother. Then there's Hierapolis, St. Philip. Also claiming for Philip and James the Lesser, St. Deca Apostoli. Then there's Basilica of St. Paul outside the walls, which is Rome, which is for Paul, and his picture's every different, I think, every time I check. St. Peter's Basilica holds relics of Peter. St. Peter's tomb claims that Simon the Zealot and St. Jude Cyrenius under the St. Joseph altar. The Aspica of St. John, which doesn't say where it is, probably Italy. Probably Rome. Yeah, it's Rome, Italy. Rome, Italy. Anyway. Claims to the skulls of both Peter and Paul. Tombs of Jesus, there's several places. None of them are currently in use, obviously. There's the Garden Tomb, which it's been used before and after, and it says it was a new tomb that never been used before, so there's some problems with the Garden Tomb. But yeah, here's why people think it's... Then there's this widely discredited thing, the Tabla Tomb, which someone else named Jesus, which was kind of common back then. Then this place, which is Rosabelle, which somebody in Islam claims, but the theory that Jesus was buried anywhere on the face of the earth is blasphemous to Islam. So, yeah. And then there's the Japan Village. Village located at the final resting place of Jesus. There's, yes, in Shinjuku. Where is it most likely? The Church of the Holy Sepulchre. For a whole load of reasons. Yeah, it was venerated before then. It was then, we even have a Roman emperor asks, "Where's the tomb of Jesus?" He gets told where the tomb of Jesus is. Then he builds a temple to Athena on it just to spite Christians. So if you're wondering, there's the Church of the Holy Sepulchre. Cross, tomb, anyway, then we have tomb of St. Thomas, the Cathedral Basilica, which just tell me where the frick. India. Yeah, India. Who's in India? And we have this church also claiming Thomas. At the same time as St. Matthew Abbey, which is in Germany, which Matthew. Ahmadiyya Mosque, or the Great Damascus, which is Port St. John, recognized both by Christians and Muslims. Basilica of St. John, the original burial site of St. John. Judas Iscariot, the traitor. St. Mark Coptic Orthodox Cathedral, tomb of St. Mary, which of course is in Jerusalem, right? Or no, that's in tomb of Matthew. Mark is in Egypt. Yeah, the Kidron Valley. Abbey of St. Gestra, Italy, which is for Luke. The body of Luke. Why the body? Because St. Vincent's Cathedral has its head. Thebes, Greece, is where was originally buried. Claims to still hold one rib. Then we have this place for St. Matthew. I thought I already that place. Well, over. Sunbelt Cathedral for Matthew. Matthew St. Abbey. Oh, okay. Then Lazarus, this tomb of Lazarus. I think it's not a very tall tomb. Imagine Jesus standing out there. Lazarus, come out. Then we have James the Just tomb. Claim to hold relics of James the Just. St. Timothy, Timothy's Cathedral, which is in Italy. Of course, most of these are in Italy. Church of Titus in Acheron for Titus. And then we have like current stuff. Yeah, that's different locations and such of where people believe that the biblical people are buried. I'm going to leave this so you can just like read more about their arguments, read the sources people use and stuff, and not like as a source like this is definitive where they are. No. Just Wikipedia because it's a good like summary. That's about it. Wikipedia is good for some things. Anyway, next Saturday we are going to go over Esau's descendants of Edom, and no, it won't be going over all the name meanings because there's a lot of them, like a really freaking lot. Yeah. Anyway, that's all for today. Please leave where you think they might be buried, why you think some of these things may be wrong, why right, sources and evidence you think, of course, for where you think they may be buried. Anyway, I guess that is all for today, but you can go watch my other stuff. You don't have to just leave the site or anything. You could subscribe if you want to, like, special pages, permanent link. Oh, interesting. Anyway, see you next Saturday, which would be the 17th